Hi, I'm Andrew Lloyd. I play double bass with the International Symphony Orchestra. We're here at Cheeky Monkey to do a little bit of music shopping, and this is the music that I listen to when I'm not playing the double bass. So I've got a collection of Charlie Parker recordings. It's called The Essentials. It's kind of a best-of recording. I first heard Charlie Parker at university when I was in a jazz studies program. I became very interested in his melodic concepts and the way he creates melody on the saxophone, the way he plays when the harmonic changes, and I started to do that on the bass. So I was interested in taking his saxophone melodies and playing them on the double bass, and that's something I still do today. So I have here a Bob Marley recording, recorded in 1976. It's called Rastaman Vibration. This recording represents the point where he went solo. He left a group called the Wailers, which was essentially a Jamaican supergroup consisting of Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, we don't have any of his recordings here today unfortunately, and Bunny Wailer. These three gentlemen are pretty much responsible for developing our modern concept of reggae music. I listen to this music regularly. It helps me a lot with my timing, my feel, and I just enjoy listening to anything by these three artists. Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, or Bunny Wailer. We have Bob's music here today. Devo. A lot of people like to make fun of this group. I think they're mistaken. It's a very interesting group with a very intelligent approach to music and art. It was formed in 1971 at Kent State University by two visual art students, Gerald V. Casale and Mark Mothersbaugh. They were present at the infamous shooting of the students by the National Guard, and they were present at a time when American culture was leaving a sort of flower power era and moving into a more modern, I would say probably a more depressing sort of state of affairs. Their artistic concept at the time was that man is not in fact evolving, he is devolving. Technology is not his friend, and he is becoming slower, dumber, and sicker. They created a concept based on a very strong visual content. Their music was intended to represent aspects of de-evolution. They simplified their music. They used technology. One of the early members invented the first electronic drum kit, later went to work for Roland. They're pioneers in music video, and they're major architects of the New Wave movement. I was actually fortunate to be able to meet Gerald V. Casale at a conference in Akron, Ohio, which is where this group is from. We had a wonderful time talking about bass guitars and technology and his concept on art and his concept on winemaking, which is what he does now. I couldn't choose. They had two of these records here, so I picked up both of them. Okay, Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. I first heard this group in high school. I was completely amazed by the level of musicianship. He would only pick the very best musicians to play his music. His music was very dense and complex. His compositional hero was Edgar Varese, and he was interested in music collages and music concrete. So his compositions were not for your average rock musician, and as a result he went through a lot of different musicians. Many of them went on to have very famous careers of their own. I picked this album today because it's the one Frank Zappa album that I don't have at home. These days I tend to be more a fan of his instrumental music. A lot of his music is infused with his unique sense of humor, which is not for everybody. I have kind of left that part of it behind, but I still really appreciate him as a composer and still listen to him to this day. Once again, I'm Andrew Lloyd, double bass player with the International Symphony. I want to thank the Cheeky Monkey for having me here today. They've had 25 wonderful years here in downtown Sarnia, and they're definitely going to be missed. And I'm very happy that I've had the chance to visit them on this, which is my first trip to Sarnia after the border closed. So this is the first place I came when the border reopened.